Hi guys, Dr. Lester here, and today we're going to be continuing our conversation on blood sugar, and today we're going to be talking about dementia and Alzheimer's. So, most people don't know that this is related to blood sugar, but it is actually so much so related that it is called type 3 diabetes. So, there's some really cool evidence that's coming out, but it's actually been out, now that I think about it, for a while, but I guess it's becoming more popular is what I'm trying to say. Where we already know about blood sugar mismanagement in general and what we talked about with the gut that we've discussed at length up to this point, but there's also what's called the blood-brain barrier. Now, I remember I told you that blood sugar passes indiscriminately through the gut, right? So we go from the gut to the bloodstream without any obstacles because this is the foundational energy. Well, that generally also happens in the blood-brain barrier. You want to have a barrier between the blood and the brain because obviously we don't just want anything getting up into the brain. So the only really thing that really gets through indiscriminately is blood sugar. And this becomes a problem when blood sugar is becoming entirely too high and now there's entirely too much blood sugar in the brain. Remember I told you that these blood sugars are kind of spiky, and so it's scraping up some of the surrounding parts of the brain. It is also causing extra pressure on the brain, the little area that it has around the brain, and inside the brain. So there are lots of reasons why the brain starts getting a little bit torn up in this process because the system seriously cannot handle all of this blood sugar coming up into the brain. This is what we're starting to see when we see Alzheimer's and dementia, is that there is deterioration happening in the brain directly related to the blood sugar crossing that blood-brain barrier. So obviously you don't want to stop that, but we have to decrease the blood sugar because they found that as you manage that better, then those symptoms, they tend to calm down. Now you usually see this in people who have had blood sugar issues for a while. So for example, people that have had type 2 diabetes, they are much higher at risk for getting dementia or Alzheimer's. People who are morbidly obese, people who have high cholesterol, all of that, those are all indicators that we are heading directly towards this problem. There are definitely things that you can do to help with dementia and Alzheimer's in general, but the number one thing is going to be blood sugar management, and they have found this to be a very, very effective tool and super important just in the management of really the whole system. So the other things that you can help with dementia and Alzheimer's are going to be, of course, the typicals, like where you do exercises for your brain. There are lots of cool apps and stuff like that that really help with that. Reading is great, but really doing things that are different. So one of the ones I love is the things that you normally do with your right hand, like let's say brushing your teeth, try brushing them with your left. That's challenging your brain. Those are very, very simple things that you can do. Exercise is going to be a huge deal here because again, you're moving the brain, or you're moving the blood through the brain in a different way, and you're challenging your brain to do different things, and it gets more oxygen and removes the waste products from those areas literally by pumping it. Another thing is going to be getting enough sunlight because vitamin D is going to be crucial during some of this. And guess what? You can combine those two with exercise and sunlight. So that's helpful. And then, of course, as you get older, people do tend to become more dehydrated, and so they have some problems with that. That's going to be really important to manage as well. And then lastly, healing the gut, because that's where some of this problem starts. So making sure that we can heal the gut and not, if the gut is not healed and eventually it becomes worse and worse of a problem to where it starts challenging that blood-brain barrier even further and tearing that up as well with all sorts of shit that shouldn't be in the blood, like gluten and stuff like that. So we want to make sure that we break it down and heal the gut so that's not going to be a problem at all. I hope that helps. That's a lot of information, but there really is answers for this debilitating condition, and it's really prevention in this sense. So I hope that helps. I'll talk to y'all later, guys.